Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Caitlyn, and we'll be ending the Dragon adventure from the Nightmares campaign. If you haven't caught up yet, you should watch yesterday's video. We've completed the Noxus map, and we're now heading on to the last portion of the adventure. I'm a bit worried about this encounter. Wait, what? This isn't the Art of the Fluffed. I thought for sure we would face off against the Art of the Fluffed here. Maybe this encounter changes. Yeah, anyway, let's get to it. Shop. More Mr. Thrifts, and no. It's just this rider doesn't seem that good, that's why we cut it from the deck. Duplicate. Yeah, no way I'm passing that up. It's not even worth considering. Now we're sure to win this adventure. If we don't win, I'm going to be very surprised actually. Obviously we want to mulligan aggressively for Caitlyn. We also want the Shallow Siren because yeah, they cost 0 while Caitlyn's on the board. The Poro King doing an appearance here. When none of the foe Sporos dies, the foe creates a copy 15 deck and grants copies of it everywhere +2/+2. That's quite the problem for us. We need to close out this game quickly. And we need to keep the opponent's board under control. Because otherwise... yeah, otherwise the opponent just buffs everything by an additional amount. And we can't have that. 19 cards in deck. The opponent gets a buff. We don't even kill any of the opponent's units. Okay, we do kill. Good. Can get rid of the Poro King here with the ace in the hole. But should I? The opponent's taking a pass here. You know what? I'll take the pass as well. The opponent's wasting 7 mana. Meanwhile, I'm saving the spell mana. Even if the flash bomb traps do end up being a bit wasted because they don't properly work for me, because they don't kill everything. Should still be alright. Can do double agent here. I'm going to do Zoe, Sheriff of Piltover. Then I just do double agent, attack with everything, and then hopefully the Caitlyn's deal a billion damage from the double agent throwing a bunch of flash bomb traps.
Opportunities double-edged.
Alright, they don't even get to strike because the attacks just fizzle. Well, can I find something good here? I'm going to need this stun, I just know it. Can also work on leveling up the Zoe to try to use that as a win con. Leveled up the Poro King. It's a bit unfortunate the opponent managed to draw a second copy so soon. Let's get rid of that spell shield. Just in case I need to go for a Crescent Strike next turn. The opponent can also just attack and not realize that he dies from the damage from the Caitlyn's. That can happen. Okay, each Caitlyn deals 12. The opponent doesn't pay attention, he might die. That's a whole bunch of snacks he just played. Block here. Block here. Okay, we probably won't
Might not.
get the kill we want this turn then. So I should set up for the next turn.
I can see all the players from here.
We'll do this.
Double-edged.
I'm going to ace in the hole one of the opponent's units down. Deal damage to the opponent's nexus. Ooh, we got lucky and hit a crit. Might just kill the opponent with the damage from the ace in the hole then. Sure, I'll set up the shallow side, and next turn I can do something like Crescent Strike, Shallow Siren. Can use double agent to maybe proc a bunch of flash bomb traps,
Right on target.
force a kill that way using the Caitlyn's.
Scoping the area.
Yeah, let's do that. The opponent blocks the Caitlyn's, he risks dying.
Might help. Might not. Knew it.
Okay, the opponent just accepts the death for some reason. I didn't expect this to happen. I was worried about this encounter because I thought it was going to be the Heart of the Fluffed one, and I'd have to deal with the opponent just having a very good single unit. And that single unit would cause us a lot of trouble because we would struggle with dealing the first time an ally dies it shouldn't revive it. I guess we're not losing. We would struggle a lot with the single target damage. So that's why I even picked up the playful trick. Turns out it was completely unnecessary. Stargazer or meditation? Either way, I think I want to save money for this Stargazer encounter specifically because it's an epic one. It might have better powers. So in that case, when the foe attacks, they play Darkness targeting the player's nexus. This is going to deal way too much damage, I think. But this is way too annoying to deal with because all of my units are rather cheap and they have low stats, so we'll probably struggle to stick stuff onto the board. Yeah, this is actually a very tough decision. I guess the opponent can't attack if he doesn't have a board. But then I have to deal with Morgana Mordekaiser. The foe curses the player's strongest unit with shackles. When the foe attacks, they summon an attacking ephemeral level to Mordekaiser. That seems way too hard for me to deal with. We rely way too much on our units. We can't have them being shackled. We don't have the spare mana to play for the shackles. I think we can consistently kill the Elder Dragon and the Gem Dragon. So the only threat here is the Friendly Poet. Okay, we're going for the left side. I actually have to think about pathing. At least in this last part. Let's toss these two. I want Caitlyn, hopefully another Shallow Siren, maybe another Advanced Intel. Or Sting Officers. Not exactly what I wanted, but it will have to do. One Flash Bomb Trap is exactly enough to kill a single Poro, because they're now 3/3s. Before they would overkill them. I don't know if that's bad or if it's fine. Either way, I have to get rid of the opponent's board here. Okay, we got lucky and we hit a bunch of flash bomb traps right there. I was just cycling through the deck to proc the shallow silence effects. Turns out I didn't even need to do that. Yes, the gems. I don't want him to get the gems off though. I'll just do this. Maximize the amount of flash bomb traps shuffled into the opponent's deck, I guess. The opponent doesn't even bother with blocking with the Solari Shield Bearer. Didn't expect that. I'm going to end up wasting the discount because I fully intend to go ace in the hole there this turn, just because it's an instant kill and we might get lucky and deal some chip damage to the opponent's nexus. Never mind, the opponent ceased to have a board for some just like that. I want to ace in the hole here. We get double ace in the hole, so sure. Double ace in the hole, get rid of that, deal some damage to the opponent's nexus in the process. I guess we'll Luft Travelers here, since it's basically free. There goes the opponent's unit.
We have gone long without justice, but keep hope alive.
He's probably going to attack here, yeah. Just for the sake of healing himself. He has absolutely no cards in hand, though, so as soon as we get rid of the Divine Clerk, he just loses. Oh, right. Our first unit that dies every turn just gets revived. So yeah, the opponent's dying next turn. Probably. Depends on the number of flash bomb traps you hit. $12, it's probably not enough. Yeah, we barely deal 20 damage. Your Nexus has stuff and then reduce further damage to it by half. It's just too crushing. You never deal enough damage. Yeah, I'll just stay in the hole. Maybe we get lucky and we crit. Okay, no crit. Fine then. We might die this turn though. If we get lucky and we get the crit off of the ace in the hole. Yep, we got lucky. The ace in the hole is actually putting in a lot more work than I thought. I thought for sure that the 5 mana deal 10 slow speed wasn't that great, but it should actually be evaluated at 0 mana deal 10 to something, sometimes deal 20. That's actually pretty decent. Grandma Enoki, Starbone. Starbone does nothing for us, so it's either Zoe or Grandma. Or I can reroll. Let's reroll. Emperor's Favor, nah. Most Wanted Summon is a 3-drop. Let's pick up more Flash Bomb Peddlers, I think. I think they're overall better. I want to revive. What are we coming up on Meditation? A legendary power will cost 600, so I want at least 600. And we haven't lost yet, so yeah, I'm going to pass on the Meditation. Then again, we spend 100 here, we make 100 there, we go into this encounter with 500 and 600 here. Okay, you know what, I'll spend the extra money on the revive, even if I don't pick up the legendary power on the Stargazer. We might still have enough to pick up a epic power, and those are pretty good as well. You know what, let's be greedy and keep the Ava at Shiver. If we hit a Caitlyn, we can drop her down for 0 by proccing the damage. And the foe activates the story, grant allies Gloom. I don't want him to grant my Caitlyn Gloom, so I'm going to pass. Okay, that does nothing. Or it's basically nothing. Ooh. I'm going to pass. Turns out it was the correct decision, because he still had something else. Caitlyn doesn't kill anything though. Kill a unit with power, total power 5 or less. He's just waiting on that. He's just waiting on that for my Caitlyn. Please target my Sting Officer. There we go. I lose the Sting Officer, but he comes back and is not debuffed. And I get to keep the Caitlyn without it being debuffed. And I can do Shallow Siren. Let's draw. Hopefully hitting a couple of Flash Bomb traps. Okay, not as many as I'd like. I really wanted to go for the ace in the hole this turn. Guess I'll have to do this. Next turn we're definitely getting the Ava Shiver down though. Now what do I want to double up, however? I can double up the Ava Shiver. Double Ava or double Sheriff of Piltover. You know what, let's go double Ava. The opponent has a couple of stories on the board. Bring the enemy nexus 2. It's fine, let's get rid of that unit. Fine. Yeah, he's debuffing everything. Wait, 6? Alright, the damage gets improved by that. Ava comes back, and I'm fine losing the Sting Officer. And once she's summoned, I get more Flash Bomb traps. More traps in general, actually. Then I can do double up on the Sheriff of Piltover. That's a lot of traps hit. I think the opponent dies to the Caitlyn's. Yeah, each Caitlyn deals 100 damage. Even if the opponent cuts the damage down to half, he's still taking 50 damage each. Okay, this was the encounter I actually thought was going to be a problem, and we actually managed to navigate it nicely. More Shallow Siren. You know what? Sure. Shallow Siren has proven to be a good card, so I'm fine getting another copy of it. Oh, I want to cut cards from my deck, but at the same time, the power on the Stargazer, 150. I'm cutting the House Wamp. Poor House Wamp is not pulling its weight. I think our deck will be better off without it. We don't really need the 1-drop, since, yeah, the Shallow Siren is basically a 0-drop combined with the Caitlyn. Please, Caitlyn, there she is. Can actually do a very... Wait, how does this die? In the foursomes unit grant cooldown to the player's units with less power than it. Okay. That's how it died. So we no longer have the extra protection. I guess we're passing, just letting the opponent... yeah, playing... we're just letting the opponent play whatever he wants here. We'll let him spend his entire mana pool. Now we can safely play the Caitlyn. We'll do Caitlyn Shallow Siren, then draw. Ooh, Portia. He actually leveled up Vex. Can't have that. This is guaranteed, this is not guaranteed. I'm going for the guaranteed kill. If the ace in the hole didn't crit, it was not guaranteed. It's fine. Fortunately, the Magnum Opus doesn't kill us. Or doesn't kill our Caitlyn at least, because of the spell shields. Let's do Ava, let's do Shallow Siren. Then we Emperor's Prosperity. Come on, hit a Flash Bomb Trap. Okay, we hit a bunch of them. I really wanted to get rid of the Heralds of Dragons because, as we found out last time around, if the opponent doesn't have the Heralds of Dragons on the board, he can't actually play the Elder Dragon. And if he doesn't play the Elder Dragon, that's a massive threat, completely gone. The Shallow Siren probably dies here, yep. Shallow Siren is just gone. I need to get rid of that Vex. Well, if the opponent hitting these many Flash Bomb Traps, it's basically guaranteed that Vex dies. Please don't. I might kill the Caitlyn. Well, now Caitlyn has Deathless, so it's fine. Passing Caitlyn back to hand. Okay, I'll answer with the ace in the hole there. Get rid of the Wind Singer. We'll do double Sting Officer. Yeah, double Sting Officer and then we attack next turn. And hopefully we kill the opponent. Depends on how many Flash Bomb Traps we actually pull. Never mind, forgot this would happen. Oh, that's the opponent's entire board gone. I think we kill him. Depends on what you play here, but we can do double ace in the hole to delay significant amount of damage. Yeah, it's enough. Even if it didn't crit, but it crit, so we just overkill him. Mid boss down. We actually struggled a lot more because we left Vex on the board for so long. To the point where our entire board was wiped like twice. Freed Colossus. Mushroom Cloud. I guess I'll pick it up because it's 1 mana draw 1. It replaces itself, so it's not the worst thing. And I can save the rerolls. Okay, this was an epic encounter. It should give me an epic power at least, but I guess I was wrong. I guess I have to waste the reroll here. Still nothing. Come on. When you play a unit, double its stats if it's Aurelian Soul disguise descend upon all your pathetic enemies. Each round, the first time we attack with 15 plus total power rally. Are we attacking with 15 plus total power? Caitlyn has... We dropped on the Caitlyn, that's 6, because Caitlyn summons another Caitlyn. No. I think Breath of Light might be better. We don't get the Skies Descent, but we get double stats on our units. That's pretty good. For example, the Shallow Siren becomes a 410. Caitlyn's a 6-6. Double Agent's an 8-8. It's a bit unfortunate I had to waste all of my rerolls there. Well, at least I'll get the very powerful deck now. Alright, the Caitlyn that we summon doesn't get its stats improved. Should still be alright though. It's fine. We'll do the Empress Prosperity. Hopefully this counter ace in the hole enough to the point where you can go ace in the hole into the Ava Achiever. I want to guarantee the Ava. I kind of want to guarantee the Ava, so sure. We'll do this. Guarantee the Ava. And then we'll attack like so.
Let's investigate.
Ensuring that we shuffle as many flash bomb traps into the opponent's deck while dealing damage. This Caitlyn will survive, and she's going to regenerate her health thanks to the regeneration. These two are going to be... Actually no, that thing gets stunned right because of our power, but this is going to be a problem. Never mind, everything died because of the flash bomb traps. Turns out having double Ava Achiever is very good. Actually, not just double Ava, just a single one's enough. What do I want to duplicate here? Guess I can do double Piltover Pacemaker there. And it's a clean way to remove that. And now we have the ace in the hole. You know what? Let's stun there. This minimizes the amount of damage I take. I develop Zoe. Next turn we can do double Sheriff of Piltover. I think double ace in the hole doesn't give us the victory, so might as well set up long term. Or I can do double Sheriff of Piltover and then go for a double agent, and then double agent draws us a bunch of flash bomb traps, and Caitlyn's damage will get us to the victory. Even without the damage from Caitlyn, I think we still would have had enough. Nah, we wouldn't have. But this is overkill. Now we actually get to face off against the Art of the Fluffed. For some reason I thought it was the first encounter we face off in this map. Guess I was wrong. Maybe the encounters just scarred me so hard that I thought it was the first. Yeah, because he gets a Heart of the Fluffed in hand every turn, because at the round start he always has a full board. And if the opponent has a full board, he gets a Heart of the Fluffed, and then all the Poros combine. And I cry, because the opponent has a massive threat that I can't deal with. But thanks to the Guile, that won't happen. Oh no. No Caitlyn in our opening hand. No Caitlyn in our opening hand means we're pretty much screwed. Do I double draw? Maybe I can double draw into Caitlyn. It's not a Caitlyn. That's not the Caitlyn. Let's do Flashbomb Peddler. Keep cycling through our deck. He just has a Heart of the Fluff right away. Please give me a Caitlyn. It's not a Caitlyn. Let's Ace in the Hole that thing down. Guess I can do this. Just go for a couple more flash bombs into the opponent's deck. Please don't give... He gets a spell shield. Do I have any way to get rid of the spell shield? No, I don't. In order for me to survive this, I need to draw exactly a form of interaction from the Emperor's Prosperity. Perfect. We Guile, we built over Pacemaker, and we survive for an additional turn. But we won't be able to pull this off every time. And now the opponent's Poros just have Spell Shield. Or I guess they don't have anymore. But still, I'm under a lot of pressure right now. Never mind, they get Spell Shield anyway. I didn't get a bunch of keywords. Let's do... What do I want to double up here? I think the Sheriff of Piltover for the guaranteed Flash Bomb traps, and I discard 2 cards from the opponent's hand. Let's get rid of the Spell Shield. At least I need to try to have a better turn next turn. Can do this, I guess. I have a Shallow Siren on top of the deck. I know that because it's the only unit that has Lurk. Let's do the Flashbomb Peddler. Try to cycle into a Caitlyn. Please, Caitlyn. No Caitlyn. This Shallow Siren, however, is very large. Place a Heart of the Fluff. I can do double Sheriff of Piltover. Let's Guile this thing. Keep stalling for time. The opponent got Spell Shield there, he wins. Let's Shallow Siren with double stats. Crap. Ace in the Hole kills. Yes, it does. Small victories. But now, thanks to the Poro sled, the opponent just gets
Sorry, wrong turn.
Spell Shield on the Heart of the Fluff again. I really desperately need that either Caitlyn or something. I don't even know how I would go about winning this game. Maybe taking advantage of the cost reduction, I go Ava Achiever. Now I have double Ava going. The opponent wastes all of his spell shields. I can do Ace in the Hole to get rid of them. It's fine. We'll use Guile here. That's one less unit down. We can do Flash Bomb Peddler, try to cycle through the deck, drop the Terrify. Yeah. We aren't going to kill this thing anytime soon. But we don't need to, because we managed to chip away at the opponent's nexus enough to go for the victory. That was a very poor scenario. Without Caitlyn in our opening hand, we can't go for that explosive first turn where we go for 2 Caitlyn's plus as many Shallow Sirens as possible. Radiant Plate Armor, no, that messes with our first turn. So unfortunately I think I go for the Eclectic Collection. It's the only card that has a vague amount of synergy with our deck. Now the opponent, let me just refresh my memory. Transform the foe's Poro followers into new champions from their regions. And it's all regions. Please give me Caitlyn and Shallow Siren. That's the Shallow Siren. And that's not Caitlyn. Well, I guess we lose. We struggled that hard last time around without Caitlyn. Against an actual encounter, we'll struggle even harder. It's not even against an actual encounter, this is an actual encounter. The previous one was also an actual encounter. It's just against anything that's remotely difficult. We desperately need a Caitlyn. Let's do Sheriff of Piltover. Let's try to kill all the opponent's units next turn, maybe. Go hard. Why do you have go hard? Oh, it was created by the Wriggly Burblefish. Well, none of the opponent's units are dying. Actually, no, we can kill one. Let's kill the Wriggly Burblefish. Screw that. One doesn't even take damage. Another one! Well, at least his opponent's Zoe is gone. That means I can go for this attack. Shuffle a couple of Flash Bomb traps into the opponent's deck. Can go for a replay. Let's do Flash Bomb Peddler. We try to cycle through our deck. Has 43 Flash Bomb traps in his deck. With this many Sheriff of Piltovers, we can absolutely mine weapons. And we overdrew the Caitlyn. Oh, I'm not mad. Very nice. Is there any way to survive here? I can do Double Guile as a form of stunning the Zoe, which is the biggest threat on the opponent's board. He attacks with everything else. I can do Piltover Pacemaker here to minimize the amount of damage I take. Peacemaker, I get extra mana next turn. Let's cycle the Mushroom Cloud. Mr. Thrift is fine. We can kill the Zoe. Yet again. He has a third Zoe. Surely he doesn't have a fourth Zoe. Let's do the Sheriff of Piltover. Gets doubled up, so that's 2 less cards from the opponent's hand. Let's also get rid of the Acurim. Or not. Let's do another Flash Bomb Peddler. It's fine. Yeah, the opponent's deck is getting kind of stacked with flash bomb traps. 105. Let's get rid of the Akarim. I don't think you should be drawing opponent. Okay, the opponent doesn't even have Poros in the deck to draw. That's a problem. That thing is just going to grow infinitely. And I can't deal with it. Let's do Mr. Thrift. Okay. The next one is going to be a Pack Your Bags. Let's get rid of the Spell Shield on the Zoe. I can't attack with anything, so I won't. I'm going to need to stun the ship next turn. Let's see if I even have the option to survive the next turn. Pack your bags. This thing's stunned. I can do... I can actually do stuff here. Somehow the opponent didn't draw a trapped card. We can do... double damage here. The opponent probably plays something else. I get a discount. I need to jump block the chip. Like so. Take 7. Ouch. We go Shallow Siren. Let's try to mill the opponent out with the Shallow Siren. We now finally have time to play it. This thing's going to suck, but whatever. Let's do Sheriff of Piltover, discard whatever he has in hand, deny. That could have been a problem. Fortunately we got rid of it. We still have the revive, so even if we die we can try again. I would prefer it if I didn't have to try again. The opponent's protection's finally gone. Nothing on this board is elusive. I'm still going to go for more Sheriffs of Piltover. Colorful snacks. Okay, still no elusive. Let's do this here. Some damage to his board. Let's guile. No, that thing gets... No, it doesn't. The chip now gets stunned every turn. So let's do it like so. Let's get another stun for the next turn. Let's start chipping away. Oh right, the opponent's next doesn't take damage as long as they control the champion. 33 cards left, 207 flash bomb traps. Surely this is enough to clear the opponent's board. Another Zoe. I just can't get enough Zoes. Another very nice. Let's do flash bomb trap. And this is not a draw. Can I survive? I can crescent strike here and here. Or here and here for the maximum damage reduction, but it's still not enough. I would need to hit flash bomb traps here and here. Or on all of those in order to to survive. I just gotten incredibly unlucky that game. We desperately need the Caitlyn, and we didn't get in our opening hand, and we overdrew one. How many Caitlyn's do I even have? I have 4 of them in the deck. Considering I saw a single one throughout that entire game. Yeah, I got incredibly unlucky. Let's toss all of these. Please, Caitlyn. No Caitlyn, but a shallow Siren. Okay, we drew the Caitlyn. The opponent's deck doesn't have removal, right? We saw a decent amount of it last game. Yeah, I think they don't have removal. We can safely drop on the Caitlyn. Even then, Caitlyn has spell shield, so it's fine. Wait, since when is that thing in the opponent's deck? I guess he just hard runs the catastrophe. Let's Empress Prosperity. A couple more cards. The catastrophe is going to get stunned next turn at least. We can do that there. Place in the hole to get rid of the spell shield, I guess. Frostbiting that. Wait, what? He just gets that. I just lose. I just lose. The opponent has a 90 attack unit and a way to rally on the first turn. Seems fair. Well, this was a complete waste of time. Well, now we know that the opponent deck has access to that. Wait, oh right, I have a third revive, or a third life, because I bought a revive. Well, time for attempt number 3. Surely this time I draw a decent hand and the opponent doesn't draw the perfect hand to completely neutralize my game plan by killing me in a single turn. Never mind, we don't draw Caitlyn. Guess this game's a loss then. Do I even do double advanced intel? I guess.
Got him on the roof.
Okay, we don't get the Caitlyn at all. Let's go Zoe. Let's do Sheriff of Piltover, I suppose. It's a decent discard. The opponent no longer has a polymorph at least. But I got rid of 0 cards from the opponent's board. The opponent's going to rally if I let that die. Fortunately, I can't even kill that unit. Fortunately, quote unquote. Get double of a unit here. Or of a spell. Guess I can do this. Get rid of the Zoe. That doesn't deal damage, so I don't get a discount. Right. He has the second Zoe, because of course he does. He might even have the third Zoe in hand, considering how his game went last time around. I can't get rid of any cards in the opponent's board. At least I can cut his hand in half. There's the Paradigm Ice gone at least. Let's cycle the Mushroom Cloud. Let's do Shallow Siren. Let's do the Emperor's Prosperity. Hopefully nothing. We don't hit anything useful. Perfect. That's exactly what I needed. We can't even attack because attacking will just cause our units to die. Guess if he wants to block into the Shallow Siren and sacrifice the Zoe, he can. Of course he doesn't. There's no point in him doing that. Let's soften up the Zoe by removing the spell shield. I'm getting rid of a grand total of 0 of the opponent's units on the board, so he's just stacking buffs and keywords. Can I survive this attack? I actually survived this attack, and the opponent doesn't even get to rally. He's decking out the game plan. It might be. I don't seem to be able to hit the Caitlyn at all. Let's get rid of the Zoe. That's nothing. Let's drop on the Eva Achiever. The opponent rallies. Can I stun the opponent's units? No, I can't. Guess I can stun this one. But 2 of his units have quick attack and elusive and overwhelm, and they get to attack. And they just summon. So I'm disappointed. What a dumb way to lose. All because 2 games, the last 2 games where I desperately needed Caitlyn, I don't get Caitlyn. And the 1 game I do get Caitlyn, the opponent can just kill me in a single turn. I'm pissed. Yeah, that'll be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.